Hello and welcome to Strikers, Keepers, Losers, Weepers, the only show dedicated to the Fantasy Football Scout community tournament. I am Greyhead, which sounds a bit like I am Spartacus thinking about it, but I am Greyhead, and I'm joined as always.
I am
I am Greyhead, all Greyheads. And I am joined as always by my partner in crime and the man behind it all, really, Boris Bodega, better known as Sam. So, hello, Sam, how are you? God, yeah, you started early. You started early. I'm sensing you're going to milk this. I mean, I was worried about the North London derby being mentioned, but you're also going to mention how well you're doing in the tournament. So yeah. So if you like an hour-long episode of Sam gloating about stuff, then you're in luck. We're going to have that tonight. And we're joined by a special guest. So, as always, we'd like to invite some of our team captains along. We've been spoilt this week. We'll be joined by FPL Lens, who's team captain of Netto at Haaland. So, welcome to the show, Lens.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I think I was invited here just to kind of keep Sam humble because we're a team that's undefeated with no top scorers at any position. So all like superstars are irrelevant is superstars don't matter, I think is our motto.
I like this already. It's a team game, isn't it? It's not about
Right.
these divas
That's
like
right.
Sam. I can imagine he's demanding his own dressing room now. He's getting beyond the point. But no, it's great to have you on. And like you say, your team is doing very well. So this is my plan. We're just going to invite teams that are doing better than hamsters from now on. But no, great to have you aboard, and we'll find out a bit more about how you're kind of navigating the competition a bit later on. But first, I think, are we going to jump straight into some of the key results from last week, Sam?
Absolutely, let's go for it. Yeah, it should be coming up. There we go. So we're looking at the Jules Head-to-Head League table at the moment. What's the first result you'd like to look at, Greyhead?
Well, let's jump straight into Lens can kind of big up his team even more than he has done already. So the first one should be Netto that Haaland 5-0 against Sweet 2FA, and they literally got Sweet 2FA. So, Sam, do you want to give us your kind of like more factual account of the game, and then Lens can wax lyrical about his squad after that.
The differential's already paid off, and their strikers FPL MF Doom and FPL Lens yourself both got a goal with identical points, 92 points each. So had very, very good weeks. And the squad score, they got 3 squad goals on top of that. So they completely dominated their opposition. Well done, guys. And yeah, the major differentials weren't huge. It's not like they had loads of Haalands and loads of De Bruynes or Madisons. Just really good picks across the board. So a good job. Well done.
So go on then, Lens. Tell us the real story then. Tell us about your fantastic selections.
I mean, I would love to laud myself in this, but as you can see, I benched our biggest point scorer, the
Yes.
123
What happened to
points.
you? Yes. How did you bench that?
I'd like to say it was out of compassion for Sweet 2FA, but but no, that's not the case. So that's cheekiness on Twitter, and she is just out there in her picks. And I asked her, and like I haven't figured out exactly how to use her. She's there for a reason because of these great weeks, but then I've benched her twice already when she's hauled. So but I think ours is it's a team of like we have a little bit of everything, I think, and that's why that kind of diversity is probably the strength of our team, and that's probably why we don't have anybody kind of excelling in any one area. We've rotated players around, and I think our success is owed to our diversity.
Yeah, I think you might be onto me. It's quite interesting because there's some teams that we'll mention later on who are very much certainly the more analytical teams. They tend to have quite the same team, the optimal team, which is a
Right.
popular phrase at the moment. And as Sam is always telling me, they either win big or they lose big because basically they've got the same team.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I mean cheekiness. I mean she should be furious with you. I mean 123 points. I mean there were some big scores last week, but that is one of the biggest scores. So yeah, no, fantastic to her.
The reason I benched her is because she had Darwin Nunez starting, and
Okay.
I'm much maligned on Twitter for trolling Darwin Nunez a little bit. I don't rate him yet as a player, and I didn't think he would start. So fair enough, mud in my
Well,
face.
Well, hold that thought. We may well be speaking about Darwin a bit later on, but
Okay.
no, great to see, and great to see you've let the emotion get away with you there, and and all that good stuff. Okay, so let's. I think Lens has had his chance to bask in the glory there. So let's move on to a couple of results within the Jules League. So another big score. I know lots of big scores this week, and this was the 7-1 win for Cafu Goodmen, who are up there with you. As in the number one spot, but they beat last year's league champions, Sheikh Blatter and Roll, headed up by Auto Select, and they're very much the analytical wing of this tournament. So, so Sam, do you want to just give us a few more details around this?
Yeah, we thought this was going to be a tight one because obviously both teams would be doing well. But what actually happened was Sheikh Blatter and Roll punted on Salah to be their major differential, whereas the other team didn't have any. They had 12 more Salahs, Sheikh Blatter and Rail. So it was literally a Salah haul away from them at least competing in this match. But unfortunately, I can tell you that Cafu Goodmen had 6 more Madisons, 5 more Haalands, 4 more Popes, and he did lose his clean sheet, and 4 more De Bruynes. So they had some pretty big scorers, which is why they did so well. FPL Harry, their striker, did get a single goal for Cafu Goodmen, and Torge Henya, if I'm saying that correctly, for Sheikh Blatter and Rail, he got the consolation goal for the home side. But it was pretty much other than that is one-way traffic.
Yeah, I mean, I had a quick look, and it looked like there's about 4 or 5 centuries amongst that team, the Cafu Goodmen. So just again another kind of great team performance, picking up on that point that Len was saying earlier on. So they all seem to be chipping in. But the FPL Juice outfit go from strength to strength. So at some point, either Neto, that Haaland, Lens, your team is going to blink, or they're going to blink. I'm not sure which ones are going to go first, but it's certainly keeping it exciting at the top there. Okay, and let's move over to the other end of the table, as it were. That was King Otto's Grecians, who got their first win, I think, actually, as well. In the competition, they beat the Kebabs, Maradona Kebab, great team name. They beat them 4-3. So so Sam, who were the top performers here?
Really close this match, actually. They lost the squad score, King Otto's Grecians, but they came back with their strikers. So Mark Uma and Alfie both got a couple of goals each against FPL Nacho, who didn't unfortunately have as good a week as many other people. 70 would normally be very good, obviously. But Ray got a couple of goals for the away side for the Kebabs with 119, got 2 goals. And although they got the squad goal to make it 3, the 2 braces was enough for King Otto's to get a win. So very, very good striker selection, I would say, for King Otto's Grecians. Yeah,
no, and that's good. I mean, the captain there is FPL Deadly Ledley, and like I say, it's their first point. So I think they probably deserve a bit of praise for that one. So he's got his selection bang on there. So I know the Kebabs FPL Dan was a bit despondent, but as I said to him on Twitter, it's a long season, so don't celebrate right now. Celebrate at the end is the best way of doing it, because like I say, there's plenty of chance to make your way up the table and get into the knockouts as well. Okay, so that's the story in the Jules League. So then let's move to the Remake League. Right now, let's enjoy this one. And I've been told by our mutual friend Lens Hibbo to enjoy this one. So this is the Qatar Pounders, or the Britain's Qatar Pounders, who won 7-0. 7-0. Just want to make sure that's heard. Against the Shearer's Bunch of Flowers, who, let's not forget, were last year's overall champions. So they're not a pushover by any stretch of imagination. So so Sam, go on then. I'm going to sit back and relax, and you're going to tell us how great we are now.
No, and the highest score of the week across all teams to get your 7-0, 1,082. I think 8 centuries from your starting players, which is amazing. Very good performance in goal by Greyhead to stop the other team scoring. And FPL Matthew got a single striker goal for the Qatar Pounders. But yeah, a massive score for you guys. 4 Madisons, 4 Haalands, 2 Fodens, 2 Kanes, 2 Bowens. Geez, differentials that you had were just huge. So you would have beaten every single other team that were playing. So well done. Soak it
I'm
up.
really enjoying that. I'm really enjoying that. No, but full credit to Shabala, who got the selection bang on as always, and some great scores in there. I think we were a bit worried because I think the Flowers had gambled a bit on Salah. So if Salah had done well, and Haaland hadn't done what he did or what he does do every week, then it might have been a different story. But yeah, some great scores there. FPL Matthew, Korf did very well indeed. And Bald Eagle did incredibly well. He got about 119 points, and he was actually due to be striker, but I talked Shabala out of it, so that it could have been even worse. So if you like, in the list, I kind of it was almost like kind of saying, no, they've had enough. So obviously a bit of sympathy there, but and that clearly shows why I'm not captain anymore. Right, okay, let's move on to the other results, and then some really top scoring games this week. So the next one is Order 7, so 7777, which is Gaurav Garge's outfit. But they lost 6-4 to the Cash Bandicoots, and that's Ryan's team. So what happened here? Everyone scored by the looks of it, Sam.
We've had Haaland scored a hat-trick, Foden scored a hat-trick, and Trossard scored a hat-trick. We should mention Ryan Molesworth for scoring the very first hat-trick we've had this season so far. 3 goals. A score of 125 for Cash Bandicoot as a striker. He's absolutely smashed it. And it was because of his performance that they won. Because FPL Showdown and FPL Buller, strikers for the Sevens, both got a brace. So that was 4 goals. So without Ryan's hat-trick, it would have been a 4-3 win for the Sevens. So well done, those chaps.
No, and he's captain as well, so it was a captain's performance. So it's a proper Roy of the Rovers type moment where he's done it. So I hope he's dining out on that a little bit at least. But and a cracking game. And then the last one we want to pick out is another high-scoring effort, which is the Viking Seaman just losing out 4-3 to the Klinsmann Secret Service. So this looked like it swung one way then the other here, Sam.
Yeah, to be honest, all the scores were swinging right and left. I mean, you guys were losing at one point overnight, and then you just completely smashed them on the City Day. A game which I think most people won't forget, depending on which side of if they weren't neutral, which side of that, the receiving end or the winning end they were on. So yes, Pin Green 2 goals as striker for this Viking Seaman. FPL Viking himself getting a single goal, so they had 3. But Klinsmann got 4 goals purely from the squad score. So they had 3 more De Bruyne's, they had Haaland, they had Bowen. Those are the main differentials, I think. But yeah, all of their differentials just pretty much hit. So it was a very close affair, but unfortunately for the Viking Seaman, the Klinsmann came through. Good match there.
No, again, another good game. I think Pin Green scored again, so he's one of the top scorers, top strikers, and we'll talk a bit more about those later on. So well done there, and Baker did well as well for the Klinsmann outfit. I think he got 119 points, and he's having another good season as well. So it's good to see because he's a fellow Spurs fan. So with Spurs fans, they've got to stick together. Let's have a quick look at what that means in terms of the 2 leagues. Say again.
In times of misery, in
times of misery, yeah, exactly. You've got to take these small victories somewhere. Anyway, right. Let's have a quick look at the leagues table. So Jules League. So what does that look like at the moment?
Kafuku's men are just in imperious form. They're beating everyone. If they were going to slip up, I think this was the match that was going to do it, and they didn't. They came through with flying colours. 22 goals scored, which if it isn't the highest, is one of the highest. And I've only let 5 in, so a goal difference of 17. They're on 16 points. Next to that, Haaland are also on 16 points with a fine 17 goals scored, and only 3 goals let in. So they're neck and neck with Kafuku men. It's going to be a close one. Let's see who rises above each other in that particular contest. At the other end, it's nice to see that everyone has won a single game, which is good. So everyone's off the mark, and let's just see what happens in the rest of the season.
Yeah, no, it's quite interesting because, like you say, Kafuku's men are the top scorers overall in terms of goals, but your team, Lens, are the stingy defence. So you're the Arsenal of old. It's all all clean sheets. I think you've only conceded 3 all season by the looks of it. So you're clearly getting your goalkeepers bang on. So well done on that one. Yeah, so it's going to be a clash of styles.
It's the unstoppable force against the immovable object.
Quite. Well, I should have looked up when you two were going to meet, actually, because that's going to be a hell of a clash. But anyway, I'll look at that one, hopefully, while we're talking a bit later on. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the Remake League.
Okay, it should be coming up there. Can you see it?
Or the League of Death, as I call it, because it's, full of piranha fish, full of top teams.
It is a bit of a bloodbath in this one, but everyone's doing really, really well. At the moment, at the top are Banyana Bafana, who had another good performance this week. They've got 5 wins and a draw, so yet to lose. So they're the team in form. Followed by the Hamsters, so my team. We've got 5 wins and a single loss. Maybe a little bit lucky to be there. We've only scored 11 goals and we've let 7 in. So a goal difference of 4, whereas everyone beneath us has got a goal difference of above 10. So Klinsmann, the Qatar Pounders and Gentleman's Grealish chasing behind us. But for the moment, we're quite happy to be up in the green. So we're quite chuffed. At the bottom end of the table, Vivu Zizouts, the Sevens and Shelby Company Limited yet to get a win. And Shelby yet to get a single point. So guys, I'm sure it will come. Just be patient and keep getting those picks right. That's the Remake League so far.
I was talking to FPL Solomon, who's captain of Shelby, and I think spirits are still high. Don't worry, he's got a plan. And I said, just time it right, time it run later on. But no, to fair to you, the Hamsters are doing very well. I think you're the form team, as it were. You've got 4 or 5 wins on the trot, so well done there. But fair play to Banyana Bafana. They're just they're keeping that distance from everyone. So I'm gonna have to try and get the captain on, I think, from that team to divulge their secrets so we can plot their downfall. So he's next on my hit list. Right, okay. Should we have a good look at the individual performances then? So let's have a look at the top strikers and also top keepers as well.
There we go. Okay, so top goal scoring strikers, so the ones that have scored in the head-to-heads. We have Ping Green, who we were talking about before, with 5 goals. He's being matched with 5 goals by Mark Mansfield of No Kerman, No Cry. Just behind them, we have FPL Noble Gent, captain of Gentleman's Grealish, and FPL Flair of A. Wenger's Endgame. And then there's a whole slew of people on 3 goals behind. So Ryan Molesworth, who scored his hat-trick this time round. Ping Green, well done, keep it up. And Mark Mansfield as well. The top goal-saving keepers, Zoffa has leapt into the lead for Shelby Company Limited. He had a really good week this week and saved stopped both our strikers scoring. So he's on 7 clean sheets. As is Chiath, 1 gone 3. I'm not going to try and say that again.
I'm so pleased you had to try and pronounce that. But fair play.
Also on 7 saves or clean sheets, whatever you want to call them. Who plays for Pianic at the Disco. And another chap from Gentleman's Grealish who's on 6, FPL Focal. And I should mention FPL Transfer Tips of One Too Many, Umberto of Igerd Miller a Pint, and PG of Cafu Goodmen, all on 6 saves so far. So doing really, really well for their teams. Cracking performances. Gotta mention the fact that I'm somehow top. I have no idea.
We don't need to talk about that. We don't need to talk about that table. We can move on, I think, to the next one. No, fair play. Let's give him his moment. So tremendous performance, Boris. I mean, is about 1,000 managers in this, and you're top overall. So, I mean, you must be absolutely delighted.
Bewildered. People are ahead of me. You're ahead of me, for example, and Toby in our team was ahead of me. I think Arwin's now ahead of me, but I think just because I had that really lucky free hit in Game Week 8, which I think I got 91 points in that's just sort of shot me right up. But I won't.
You never say luck, okay? You never say luck. It's skill when it goes right, okay? And then it's like, variance when it goes wrong. That's the mantra, okay? So your skillful free hit, Boris, that's what saw you to get that.
Thanks.
But your first game week must have been awful then, because did you start in Game Week 2? Did you just have an absolute disastrous Game Week 1?
I was ranked 5.5 million Game Week 1.
Okay, you did. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So it's pretty. But then I just shot. I had green arrow after that. Just managed to get my team in shape and got a bit lucky. But yes, glad to be top at this stage. It won't last long, but long may it last. Hopefully, but I doubt it will. Moving on to.
Deserved. Well deserved, I was going to say.
Oh, thank you. Moving on to the top point scorers, so the player who scored most this week, we've mentioned Ryan Molesworth, who got 125 for Cash Bandicoot. We should also mention QPR Caribbean with 125 for Qatar Heroes. And also, very good score of 123 each, FPL Insights of Fangs of Suarez. And the cheeky Ness, who was benched by FPL Lens of Neto That Haaland. A very, very good score.
I think we made that point. I think we laid it on thick. I think we've got Lens enough trouble.
That one hurt.
But no, some great scores there. I mean, there were a lot of, I don't know how many teams were in the centuries this week, but everywhere I turned on Twitter, everyone seemed to be in triple figures. So yeah, no, it was a strange week because yeah, it was weird because I think Saturday everyone was kind of quite gloomy because nobody seemed to get any points, and it just went mental on Sunday and Monday. But there you go. Anyway, right, so. Great stuff. So that was a week that's gone. But what we really want to know is we want to hear from you, Lens. So we want to find out a bit more about your trade secrets, how you're managing to keep yourself at the top there. But so just a bit of background. So you were involved in the community tournament last year, was that right? You were part of another team?
I was on No Fuchs Given with FPL Mahir last year, and it just seemed like something fun for Net That Hall to do and to get the haulers involved. But I got to be honest, and that's why there was a little bit of a back and forth. Like I was in, and then I think there was another team that wanted to come in. Like it's okay, it looks like a lot of work anyway, so I might not be able to do it. And I was a little like insecure, so I backed out. And then I think Sam reached out again. It's like, actually, now we need someone. It's like, okay, we'll go right back in there. And I'm glad we did, because it's just been really interesting getting all these people, like people that I've interacted with, but maybe that they haven't interacted themselves. Getting them together has been created just a new dynamic. And it's very loose. Like we just kind of like, I think other than Akib, everybody's pretty relaxed about things. Yeah.
No, it's quite funny. It's quite a variation in terms of approaches from the teams. So some of the teams, as you probably heard, have massive spreadsheets and they're pulling data from all sources to make their team selections. But so in terms of the way you pick your team, I take it you're not a spreadsheet man. Is it all just based on pure instinct then?
Kind of, for one game week, I tried to instill a look. Everybody post your team, like a screenshot of your team from FPL Review, and maybe we'll use that. And then that way, if something goes wrong, then I can blame the model, and people won't get mad at me. Just looking for a scapegoat. But that didn't stick. So people just post their teams, and the thing is with the time zone, it's quite tricky because I'm not awake at deadline. Typically, that's 3 a.m. for me. So I go to sleep and I post a screenshot of what the team is, and then I go to sleep. So I don't hear any reactions. Then when I wake up for the game, it's 4:30. Deadline's gone. There's nothing we can do about anything. So it's not stressful for me. I like sleeping through the deadline.
This is a new strategy. I'm loving it. I'm loving the more relaxed style that's been adopted here. So, but whatever you're doing, it is working. Like I say, I mean, you're top of the table, and you've just. I mean, I think you've only drawn one game all season. So
right.
You're doing something right. So, but I'm interested, and so normally ask you around there, is there a team that you want to beat? And I see that your former teammates, FPL Mahir's outfit, are in the same league, aren't they? So are they the team that you're gunning for in terms of that you want to knock off their perch?
They're not actually. We played them. They were our draw. So I think fair enough. Like cool. We're still friends now, Mahir and I. Thanks to that draw. But the team we want to beat is Nima's team.
Okay.
Because he's a co-host. He should be with the haulers, and he's on this other team. So for abandoning the Net That Hall ship, I think we want to make him walk the plank.
Very good indeed. No, he's captain. Is it nameless ones?
Or
nameless ones, isn't it? Yeah,
nameless ones. And thankfully, we took care of them.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, great stuff. Great stuff. Okay, so as you probably heard, we do a piece now where we try and get you in trouble with the rest of your
Mm,
squad. But it seems like you're a
mhm.
very laid back bunch, so I think this could be quite easy for you to navigate without upsetting too many egos. But it's just a quick fire round where we ask you to kind of name who this most applies to within your squad. Okay. So out of your collected team, who do you think is the best FPL manager?
I mean, I have to go with the top, the one that has performed best all season since we've been together, and that's Libero FPL. He's an eye test guy, so very much knows the game. He plays the game and provides quite nuanced perspectives both on tactics and actually injuries.
Okay. I'm just scribbling down the name now, just of all the
Yeah.
good players, so I know who to poach for next year. Okay, and then what about, well, on that same theme, then is he the one that's most in the know, who kind of gives you the latest updates?
I would say nobody's in the know. Everybody has an
You
opinion.
wouldn't know. You're
Nobody
asleep
knows
anyway.
anything.
You're asleep anyway. You wouldn't know.
I don't go back and read those messages, so like from my perspective, we know nothing. But we have opinions.
Okay, very good, very good. All right. And do you have a joker in your team, one that's kind of keeping spirits high?
Yeah, this is I've interacted with this account for quite some time, and he has a very particular and dry sense of humor, and it always catches me. I'll always chuckle, and that's FPL Zikri.
Mm-hmm.
Zikri's great. He's clever and he's witty.
Oh, fantastic. Okay. And what about, have you got anyone in your team who's really competitive? Who's getting really well? You sound to me like you're a very laid back bunch, but is there anyone in there who shows a ripple of competitive nature?
So on Monday, when Madison got 2 goals and an assist, Akib put a message in the chat with crying emoji saying Madison didn't get a hat trick. So I think there's another question about rants where we might allude back to this one.
Yeah, no, definitely. Good grief.
Yeah,
Okay.
intense.
Yeah, no, clearly hungry for more. What about, I think I might know the answer to this one based on what you said earlier on, but who's the Maverick manager amongst your lot?
So yes, it's absolutely the cheekiness. I mean, nobody compares to her. Although I have to say, these days our MVP Mark Southerns, he's gone from like dollar to I don't know what he's doing. So he's a little bit maverick. And we have another guy who I really appreciate. His name's Zach, and he lives in Egypt. And his handle on Twitter. He doesn't use Twitter barely ever, but he's Mad in El Bats with 2 T's at the end. And he goes by Absurdologist on YouTube, and he has some interesting different approaches to the game. He brought in Castagne, I think, before his assist, kind of seeing that matchup there for him. So he does things like that, which are quite interesting.
Okay, I've forgotten actually you've got Mark amongst your squad. So have you kind of taken him to one side as team captain and said, look, you've got to just sort yourself out and start getting better?
I kind of. So I
you have okay.
A message when on his wild card I benched him. I benched the Godfather of FPL on his wild card.
Wow, that's the quote. That's the quote for this episode.
Clip that.
I benched the Godfather on his wild card.
and it turned out to not be the wrong decision.
No, that's what makes it even worse. But anyway, I'm sure he'll rise. Well, better not digging into it too much. I'm sure he'll rise up the ranks. I'm sure you've got that to look forward to when he gets to the later stages.
Exactly, he's our secret weapon. He's just like building up the momentum.
Yeah, definitely. And have you got any conservative managers amongst your team? We always call them the dullard, as it were.
So there are a couple that have quite similar teams, and I say more template teams. But I think I'd have to nominate FPL Pup for this one. Okay. He has a series of just like excellent ranks, super consistent. Went into the season, he was our goalkeeper, I think, for a couple of weeks because of his more template team, and that worked out. So I think I'd go with him.
Okay, great stuff. And then I think you may have answered this one, but who rants the most? Is it Akib for his Madison rant, or is it?
Okay. Doubling down on Akib.
You're doubling down on him. Okay, great to see. And then last but not least, again, it's a slightly odd question to ask you this one, but who is the last one to share their team sheet?
Our MVP, Mark Southern. Sometimes he doesn't share it at all. He gets benched.
I was going to say you won't know because you're asleep, but you do know. He just doesn't do it. Excellent. Okay. All right. So anyway, he's officially in a naughty corner. Right. Got it. But no,
that's like, that's what I want everybody to think. And then we're gonna unleash Mark Southerns on everybody, and no one's gonna know what hit them.
We should have to let you know the grand plans that you got for him later on. But anyway, great stuff. But anyway, just a massive thank you for getting involved in the competition. Like you say, there was some back and forth, and I think you kind of came in towards the end and really kind of helped us out. So much appreciated on that, Lens, and it's good to see you doing so well as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to move on to probably the only section where we talk even vaguely seriously about FPL, and this is the normally what FPL Maldini does, or Nino. We do the captain, buy or sell. So effectively, I'm going to give you and Sam 3 players, and you have to tell me whether or not you would captain them, buy them this week, or sell them this week. Just a bit of fun along the way, and obviously loosely based on the Snog Marry Avoid game that you play elsewhere. So the first one is the often forgotten kind of price range of the kind of the 10 million type strikers, or 9-10 million strikers, and the 3 choices, and I think I know where Lens is going to go, so I'm going to go to Sam first of all. The 3 strikers are Aubameyang, Vardy, or Darwin. Sam, out of those 3, which ones are you going to captain, which ones are you going to buy, and which ones are you going to sell?
I'm genuinely considering getting Aubameyang in after his goal the other week, and I'm just looking at the stats. We were discussing it on our group WhatsApp page the other day, and I think someone's considering lumping for him now, and I'm just maybe giving it another week or 2 because I've got Mitrovic. I don't know what's going on there. Vardy, I have no idea if he's going to get back into form or not. He did all right the other day. And Rashford, I mean, they're playing Everton, aren't they? Everton are a bit leaky.
Oh, not Rashford. No, Darwin.
Oh, Darwin, sorry.
Nunes, yeah.
Darwin's not guaranteed minutes, is he? From what I can see. He's sort of
he played last night. Lens probably has got a better view because
apparently he doesn't understand what his coach is saying, which doesn't sound particularly promising. It's a bit worrying.
That quote.
That's such a brilliant quote. How they've let him do that, I have no idea. So I would probably sell Darwin. I would keep Vardy, and I would captain Aubameyang, because I think whenever he starts at a club, he starts scoring heavily.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting one actually, because he's at an awkward price point, but like you say, they've got some good fixtures.
It's cheaper than
Potter's going to
Kane.
show faith in him. Yeah,
It's cheaper than Kane, and it's, Spurs. Sorry, but Spurs do look a bit off. Don't know.
Right. Okay. Moving on to Lens. Lens, out of those 3, what are you going to do? Are you going to agree with Sam, or are you going to disagree?
Yeah, and I'll be boring. I'm going to agree with Sam. I think on Aubameyang, what we have to kind of see is what kind of role he'll have under Potter. I don't see him having the same role Danny Welbeck had, for example, at Brighton, because they have very similar, very different strengths.
Yeah.
So I could see actually Aubameyang kind of pulling wide and maybe having Mount push forward to begin the pressure. And then when Aubameyang pulls wide, then does he operate more like an inside forward the way Trossard and Pascal Gross operated with Brighton? And if he gets into that role, I think Aubameyang could really blow up. It would just depend on that kind of tactical dynamic from Potter for me. I think
you tempted to go there yet, or not, like Sam, or are you kind of just waiting to see?
It's a wait and see. I'd like to see that happen at least maybe twice in a row before I start considering that, just because there's so much value elsewhere at the forward line, and I had other plans. If I do that, it means kind of rethinking what I've been thinking for weeks, and I've been doing okay, so I'm not inclined to kind of rethink everything.
Fair enough. So he's going to be captain. He's going to be captain, is he? And then
he would be captain. Vardy, I would hold on, I guess, because he's starting more than Darwin, and he's more proven in the Premier League than Darwin, and the fixtures are good. Darwin's fixtures aren't good yet. There's that quote from yesterday saying that he doesn't understand the words that are coming out of Klopp's mouth, but he wants to be a team player. So I don't know how he's going to square that one. And I just think Darwin is utterly overrated. I think a lot of what he does, he's a great target, but he doesn't have much versatility. So if Liverpool needs something else, he can't give it to them. So I think it'll be actually. I think the asset about to blow up from Liverpool is Diogo Jota, and I think he'll nail down that 9 spot.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
No, it's interesting because there was a lot of hype about Darwin, wasn't there, kind of earlier on? So like some of the kind of bigger accounts, people like Late Riser really kind of like was gambling on him at the start, and then he had that red card, and everyone's kind of cooled down on him as well. So but I think Yotta's a good shout actually. But again, I'll scribble that one down for later on. So that's always good. Okay, so that's great on the strikers. So then let's move into that mid-price midfield. So we've got Trossard, Martinelli, just so we've got an Arsenal player to keep Sam happy, and Rashford as well. So Lens, out of those 3, which way are you going to go in terms of captain, buy or sell?
This one's tough for me. I think because 2 weeks ago I did a tactics podcast with Libero, and we talked up Trossard quite a bit. Obviously, like not enough to bring him in on my wild card, given his fixtures and all the see first. But after seeing the way that Serbi used him, I just think his upside is quite high. I think he's basically the next Martinelli, but could be with bigger upside. So I'd probably captain Trossard because of the way that Serbi attacks and Trossard's role within that attack. I would always hold Martinelli because of the value. I don't think there's going to be a better value player in the game. And then it's hard to even say Rashford's name at this point.
Because he looked value before the start of the season, though. At that price, I thought he could be good, but he's just Well, he's had that. I mean, he had the one good week I owned him, so always forgiven for that week. But it's
that was a hard week for me.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed that one in particular. But what about you, Sam? Do you kind of agree? Rashford, sell, and Trossard the captain.
Trossard, captain. Martinelli. I mean, I just got rid of Martinelli, so I probably would. I'll go with what I've done. So I sold Martinelli, and actually, I probably would keep Rashford up against Everton, just because Everton are a bit leaky.
I'm surprised you sold Martinelli, especially as an Arsenal fan, because I mean, again, I think as you were saying, Lens, that there's a lot of argument just to keep him just because of the value that he provides, and obviously the value gained around him as well. So I think
he's got
a lot
the blank
of people kept
coming
him on
up.
cards.
He's got the blank coming up. I do think he's going to be fantastic value for the rest of the season. I'm just thinking maybe Rashford might get something against Leicester, but I'd flip a coin really. I think Martinelli is better over the whole season, but maybe Rashford for the fixtures coming up might be a bit better.
Fair enough.
I bet Martinelli scores brace or something. Should be nice.
Yeah, well, it's going to be an interesting game. I know that one. So
up against Trent.
Yeah.
True.
Especially a lot of the way he's been playing. Although he did look a bit more defensive last night, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But okay, good stuff. Right. So that's great. And then the final bit is the prediction round. So this is where we get to test your mystical skills. Spoiler alert: Sam is not very good at this. Where you have to kind of predict the games, the results of the games in the community tournament coming up this weekend. We just pick out 3 from each league and have a bit of fun in terms of guessing what the results are going to be. It's a good chance for you to kind of unnerve the opposition, I think, more than anything else, Lens. I have been keeping track this season just in terms of how well the predictions are going. And Sam, you've actually won one. So you won last week against Ron Manager. You got 5 points to his 2 points. And just quickly, you basically get a point for getting it in the right direction, and 3 points for getting it bang on. And you got one bang on. You predicted Ryan Ronaldo's win 2-0, I think it was. So well against Vuvu Zoo. So well done there.
There is method in the madness. You see.
No, well, there's luck in there somewhere. You must have. I mean, I reckon you must have either kind of, walked under a ladder or picked a lucky four-leaf clover or black cats were involved, something. Or I don't know, voodoo or something. But everything does seem to be going your way right now. But anyway, so let's jump into the fixes to predict. So from the Jules League, the first one we're going to get to have a go at is Qatar Heroes, who have now won 2 in a row. Obviously, captained by FPL Run Manager, who was on last week against Fabio Cannavarians, who had their first loss last week after looking in great form. So, Sam, I'm going to get you to guess first of all.
I mean, these differentials are mad. So, if the spreadsheet's right, Fabio got 14 more Sakas than Qatar Heroes, and Qatar Heroes got 10 more Madisons. So a huge number of differentials. Final Jesus. I really can't pick it because, geez, how am I going to sort through all that lot? I think cause I like them because they picked so many Sakas. I'll go for a 2-0 win for the Fabios.
What about you, Lens? What do you reckon?
I'm looking at this, and I think the number of Madison differentials is probably going to drop. I expect the managers to bring Madison in. So I wonder what other kind of differentials Qatar Heroes would have. But just on the fact that the Fabio Cannavarians has more Solanke, I'm going to choose Qatar Heroes.
And what do you reckon the score's going to be there?
I think it'll be very close. I'll say 2-1 Qatar Heroes.
Okay, excellent stuff. Well, you've kept Ron happy, and you've kept all the Solanke haters happy as well, so that's good to see. Right, okay. The next one is closer than ever. Who've got Magnus and his magical beads up against your lot. So Neto at Haaland. So you've surely got to go for a win for your team here, Lens.
I would like to say easy win, but I can't. They have a really good team. They're and I have respect, I think, for some of the differentials. Like they have Paketa, which is great. I think he's just a great player, so I respect their picks. And Zishan, I believe, is their captain, right?
Yep. That's right, yeah.
He created my Twitter logo, my avatar
on
Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, he offered to do that. So really nice guy. I think he's great, and it's going to be a fun matchup. But again, we just are collective. We are greater than the sum of our parts, and I think that will be shown again. And we're going to limit their goals, and we'll take it 3-1.
3-1. Okay, very good. Very good, excellent. No, Zishan is a top man. So it should be a good game. Good game. All right. So the collective win, he thinks, Lens. But what do you reckon, Sam? Are you going to go against him?
I think it's going to be tight. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win to Neto at Haaland. I think it's going to be quite tight though.
He must like you, Lens, because he normally goes against the guest. So he must like you because at least he's giving you a win here. So that's good to see.
But you've got to be worried about Newcastle, surely, with all those popes.
Well, yeah.
That's a lot of popes to make up. That's true. That's definitely a concern.
Fear the popes.
It's okay. It's all about the popes, right? Okay. So, and the last one is A Wenger's Endgame, who had a massive win this week just gone. I think they won 8-1 from memory. So, huge score there. And they're taking on Hand of Zoff, who actually had a good result themselves. So they beat your old teammates, the Lens. They built FPL Mihir's team as well. So a good result for them. So, so Sam, what does the data say here?
It's really tight. There's not many differentials in this at all. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen over the transfer period, but I'm assuming that Zaha's going to go mad because he's in my team and I want him to. I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to A. Wenger's endgame. Because he's got to score, surely. Has to score.
2-0, okay. And what do you reckon, Lens?
You know, looking at the teams here, I do prefer A. Wenger's endgame. I prefer their differentials. And again, I also expect it to change. I don't think they'll have as much Zaha advantage. But just because A. Wenger's endgame is kind of brought to you by the FPL bangers, Siva and Sam, and that they're known for for trolling me with my bias against players. When I have a bias, they always point it out. So I'm going to go with my bias here and go for Hand of Zoff, only because they have 3 haulers. They have 3 members of Net That Haul who are in our Discord. And I think they're going to come away with it and teach the bangers a lesson.
Excellent. What was the score going to be?
They're going to be taught a lesson 4-1.
4-1. I like it. You see, this is what it should be about. It should be about pure emotion, not about numbers. Not about numbers. Okay. Talking about pure emotion, let's move over to the Premier League predictions. So the first one, let's have a look then. Hamsters against the 777. So just to paint the picture here, Hamsters undefeated, 4 or 5 wins on the trot, taking on Sevens who've only got 1 point all season. So surely it's got to be the Sevens. So Lens, which way do you think this one's going to go?
This is tough. I do think we see some kind of resurgence from Salah. And the Hamsters do not have that kind of coverage. So I think the Sevens could squeak it with Salah. And again, that's with the understanding that I expect the Madison differential for the Hamsters to decrease after the transfers are made. So I'm going to go with the Sevens. And it's going to be super close, 2-0.
2-0. Oh, Lens, good man. So a big build-up for you there, Sam, and he's gone against you. I tried everything I could to sway him, but
Sam wants to retract his prediction of saying Neto that will win.
Yeah. What do you reckon, Sam?
We've got 2 more Zahas. That's enough. He's going to get a hat-trick. So we're going to win 2-0 seems to be our standard scoreline, 2-0. That'll be good.
2-0. God, a lot of faith in Zaha. I know Nino likes him, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyway, then Robin Banks, or we're Robin Banks, should say, against Fanic at the Disco. And we're Robin Banks are having a good run. They've got 3 wins in a row. So and they're a good team, a good experienced community team as well. So Sam, what do the differentials tell us here?
I'm being distracted by my daughter. 5 more minutes, okay? 5 more minutes, then you can watch TV. Later. Right. Sorry about that, chaps.
Okay.
We're Robin Banks. Look at the differentials. He's searching for Zaha. I can't see any, so that screwed me. Luis Diaz, James, Saka, Trippier. This is really tight, actually.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for We're Robin Banks. Actually, I'm going to go for a 2-0 win. 2-1. 2-1.
2-1. Okay.
2-1.
Okay. Well, look, see, Lens, what you've done is you've upset Sam's daughter so much because you predicted against Hamsters that she's crying. So hopefully you can get over that. But anyway, what do you reckon on this one then? Do you reckon it's going to be We're Robin Banks, or do you think it's going to be Panic at the Disco? Or Panic at the Disco?
Oh, I want to say We're Robin Banks, but Solanke's back. Solanke. But on the other side, Pjanic at the Disco has a bunch of Perisic's, which I think is just atrocious. So I'm going to go with Whale Robin Banks as well. Very tight. I'll go 4-2.
You see, Lens, we were getting on so well, and then you've shown your true colours by going against Perisic, so I'm afraid it's over now. Right, okay. Anyway, the last one to pick is the Fabio's Vikings Seaman, which is FPL Vikings team, taking on Darth Crid's team, Bajir Trousers. So Sam, go on and please tell me Bajir Trousers are going to stop losing because they're doing quite well at the moment.
You can see where Zaha is, and they've got 3 of him. So clearly it's going to be a 4-0 win to Lucio and the Viking team. And
Oh,
Enough
God,
said.
you're putting a lot of faith on Zaha. I'll tell you that right now.
I need him to. He didn't score this week, so he's got to score next week.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but FPL doesn't work like that. Okay, so
Yeah.
anyway, but Lens, what do you reckon?
I think I have to go with Lucio and the Viking Seaman. Kind of resounding here. I'm gonna say 4-1.
4-1.
Nice.
Yeah.
God, it's gone in heavy.
Incredibly
Yeah, sorry, they're Lucio and the
not
Viking
happy.
team, not Fabio and the Viking team, as I called him earlier on. I do apologise for that. Okay, that's great. So we'll log those in. Hopefully, Lens, you can outscore Sam next week, and we'll let you know how you got on. But yeah, but I think that's the end of that. So yeah, I think we're just about to end. Clearly, Sam's got to go off and play volleyball, so we better close the show there. But as always, just a massive thank you, Lens, first of all, for being the team captain and for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. So I'm glad to see you enjoying it so far. So
Yeah.
all the best.
It's been a ton of fun, and I know my teammates are having a lot of fun too. So shout out to all of them as well.
Fantastic. Sam, anything from you?
Oh, big thank you, Gabriel, for coming along. That's brilliant. You're a wonderful guest, and if we do meet you in the finals, in the head-to-heads, and you beat us, I don't think I could be beaten by a nicer chap. So, really nice to meet you.
Thank you so much.
It's all been far too nice. Anyway, enough of this loving. Let's hope down with the hamsters. Let's keep it negative. Down with the hamsters, and we'll leave it there. But as always, thanks again, and we'll speak to you all soon. Take care.